Admiral Sarah Chen stood at the observatory deck of the Lunar Defense Station Hyperion, her dark eyes fixed on the holographic display, showing an incoming vessel unlike anything humanity had encountered before. The ship's crystalline structure seemed to defy conventional physics, its surface refracting light in impossible patterns. Analysis complete. Admiral, Lieutenant Rodriguez reported from his station. The vessel is approximately 3 kilometers in length. Energy readings are, well, they're off our charts. Chen nodded, maintaining her composed demeanor despite the gravity of the situation. Humanity had prepared for this moment for decades, ever since the discovery of the Prometheus signal in 2157 had confirmed the existence of advanced alien civilizations. What they hadn't expected was for first contact to happen so soon. "Open channels across all known frequencies," she ordered. "Let's see if our visitors want to talk." The response came almost instantly, materializing as a holographic projection in the center of the command deck. The alien figure stood nearly 3 meters tall, its form composed of what appeared to be shifting layers of translucent azure plates. When it spoke, its words emerged in perfect English, though its mouth, if it had one, didn't move. "Greetings, children of Earth. I am Sovereign Executor Vix of the Arcturus Dominion. We have been watching your development with great interest." Chen's hand instinctively moved to the neural interface at the base of her skull, humanity's greatest secret weapon. "Welcome to Earth space, Sovereign Executor. I am Admiral Sarah Chen of the United Earth Defense Force. We're honored by your visit, though some advance notice would have been appreciated." The alien's form shimmered with what might have been amusement. "Advance notice. Your species has barely mastered crude fusion technology. We didn't expect you to have detection capabilities beyond your solar system." Chen shared a knowing look with her crew. The Dominion, like so many advanced civilizations they had theorized about, was making the classic mistake of underestimating humanity. The fusion plants they detected were merely a facade. Earth had mastered zero-point energy 15 years ago, but every advancement had been carefully hidden beneath layers of apparent technological limitations. "We have our ways," Chen replied diplomatically. "May I ask the purpose of your visit?" "Of course. The Arcturus Dominion spans 17,000 star systems. We bring order, peace, and advancement to primitive species such as yourselves. Your world has been selected for integration into our perfect society." The word integration sent a chill through the command deck. They had run simulations for this exact scenario. Advanced aliens offering technological gifts with strings attached. Humanity had learned from its own history. Colonizers rarely had the best interests of the colonized at heart. "That's a generous offer," Chen responded carefully. "However, Earth is an independent world. We would be happy to establish diplomatic relations as equals." "Equals?" Vix's form pulsed with what might have been laughter. "Your species still dies of natural causes. You haven't even colonized your own star system properly. The concept of equality is premature." Chen activated her neural interface with a thought, connecting to Earth's hidden defense network. Across the solar system, quantum sensors tracked 3 more Dominion vessels emerging from what appeared to be artificial wormholes. They were being surrounded. "Perhaps a demonstration of our benevolence is in order," Vix continued. "Observe." One of the Dominion ships fired a beam of energy at Mars. Where it struck, the red planet's surface transformed, becoming covered in gleaming structures within seconds. "Molecular reconstruction technology," Vix explained. "We can reshape worlds in moments. Think of what we could do for Earth." "Impressive," Chen admitted, "but not as impressive as you might think." With a neural command, she activated a hidden satellite network around Mars. The newly created structures shimmed and vanished, a quantum nullification field rendering the transformation inert. For the first time, Vix's form showed something other than condescension. "Impossible. You couldn't possibly have quantum nullification technology." Chen allowed herself a small smile. "Sovereign Executor, I'm afraid you've made a serious miscalculation. We detected your observation platforms in the Kuiper Belt 3 years ago. We've been studying your technology ever since. Deception. Vix's form flared brightly. You will submit to integration, or what? Chen's voice carried steel now. You'll force us. Try to take what you want. Others have tried. Let me show you something. She activated the planetary defense grid. Across Earth's surface, hidden installations emerged from underground bunkers, from beneath the oceans, from within mountain ranges. Each installation housed technology reverse-engineered from careful observation of the Dominion's own systems. You see, Sovereign Executor, humanity learned long ago that any sufficiently advanced alien civilization might not have our best interests at heart. So we prepared, we watched, we learned, and we kept our true capabilities hidden. The Dominion ships were now surrounded by a network of quantum defense platforms. Each was capable of generating localized space-time distortions that could tear a capital ship apart. This is your only warning, Chen declared. Earth is not interested in becoming part of your dominion. We are not primitive, and we are not defenseless. You have 1 hour to withdraw from our solar system. You dare threaten the Arcturus Dominion. Vix's form had lost all pretense of benevolence. We have brought thousands of species to enlightenment. Your resistance will only bring suffering. No, Chen corrected. Your presence here will bring suffering. Yours. We've had decades to prepare for this moment. Every advancement you've seen from us has been carefully crafted theater. The real show. She activated another neural command, revealing Earth's true defense fleet emerging from quantum hiding spaces throughout the solar system. It's just beginning. The Dominion ships began powering up their weapons, but Chen had anticipated this. With another thought, she activated the quantum disruption field. The crystalline ship's energy signatures flickered and died. How? Vix's form was becoming unstable. The same way we block your transformation of Mars. We've been studying you, learning your weaknesses. This is your final warning. Leave Earth space, and do not return. We are not interested in your perfect society. The hologram vanished. Within minutes, the Dominion ships retreated through their wormholes, leaving Earth's solar system as quickly as they had arrived. In the aftermath, Chen addressed her crew. Send word to the Council. The Dominion will be back, and they won't underestimate us next time. But now they know. Humanity isn't anyone's colony. We're ready for whatever comes next. As she watched the last energy signatures of the Dominion ships fade from their sensors, Chen couldn't help but smile. Humanity had passed its first major test in galactic politics. They had shown they could stand up to a superior force through preparation, innovation, and the element of surprise. The real challenge, she knew, would begin now. The Dominion wouldn't take this humiliation lightly, and Earth would need every hidden advantage they had developed to face what was coming. But they would face it as they had faced every challenge in their history, with determination, ingenuity, and the unshakable will to remain free. 24 hours after the Dominion's retreat, the United Earth Defense Council convened in their underground chamber beneath the Himalayas. Admiral Chen's hologram stood in the center of the room, surrounded by the 12 council members representing Earth's unified regions. They're gathering a fleet, Chen reported, manipulating the holographic display to show long-range sensor data. Our quantum probes in the Arcturus sector have detected over 300 capital ships mobilizing. This won't be like last time. Council President Amara Okafor leaned forward, her weathered face illuminated by the holographic light. How long do we have? Based on their FTL capabilities, 5 days at most. They're not trying to hide their movements. This is meant to intimidate us. Dr. Marcus Zhang, head of Earth's Advanced Technology Division, cleared his throat. Then it's time we unveiled the Aegis Protocol. Admiral Chen, your demonstration of our basic quantum nullification technology was impressive, but it's time to show them what we've really been working on. The holographic display shifted, showing a massive network of interconnected satellites and stations scattered throughout the solar system. Each point of light represented a node in humanity's true defensive network, a project that had consumed nearly 20% of Earth's GDP for the past decade. The Aegis Protocol isn't just a defensive shield, Zhang explained. It's a quantum entanglement network that can rewrite local spacetime. We've been testing it in secret, using the dark side of Neptune as our laboratory. Chen nodded. The Dominion's ships rely on crystalline matrices to manipulate spacetime. We can turn that against them. Precisely, Zhang continued. But there's more. Show them. Admiral. Chen's hologram manipulated the display again, revealing a fleet of ships unlike anything the Council had seen before. They were sleek, almost predatory in design, their hulls composed of a material that seemed to drink in light. Project Prometheus, Chen announced. Our answer to the Dominion's superior numbers. These ships don't just have quantum nullification technology. They can actively redirect any energy weapon back at its source. The hulls are lined with artificial neural networks based on the same technology as our personal interfaces. The Council chamber erupted in murmurs. They had authorized the defense budget, but few knew the full scope of what that money had built. How many ships? Okafor asked. 250, Chen replied. Not as many as they have, but ours have a few surprises they won't expect. We've also completed the Jupiter defense ring. The display shifted again, showing a massive structure hidden within Jupiter's rings. To any outside observer, it appeared to be nothing more than natural debris. In reality, it was humanity's ultimate failsafe, a quantum weapon capable of creating a localized space-time barrier around the entire solar system. If they breach our outer defenses, Zhang explained, we can activate the ring. It will cut off all FTL travel in or out of the solar system. They'll be trapped here with us. Counselor Hassan raised an eyebrow. That sounds like a double-edged sword, Doctor. We'd be cutting ourselves off from any potential allies. Better isolated than enslaved, Chen countered. Besides, we've identified at least 3 other species under Dominion control who might support us if we prove we can stand against them. The Dominion's perfect society isn't as perfect as they claim. Okafor stood, her decision made. Activate everything. If the Dominion wants to see humanity's true capabilities, let's give them a show they'll never forget. But remember, we're not just fighting for Earth. We're fighting for every species they've ever subjugated under the guise of advancement. The next 4 days were a flurry of activity throughout the solar system. The facade of primitive technology was stripped away as humanity's true defensive capabilities emerged from hiding. Quantum shipyards around Mercury burst into activity, manufacturing advanced weaponry. The Mars colonies revealed their true nature, not simple research outposts, but heavily armed forward operating bases. On the 5th day, exactly as predicted, the Dominion fleet arrived. 320 ships emerged from wormholes at the edge of the solar system, their crystalline forms filling space with refracted light. This time, the hologram that appeared on the Hyperion's command deck showed 5 sovereign executors, including Vix. Their forms pulsed with barely contained rage. Your deception ends today, Vix announced. Surrender now, and we will be merciful. Resist, and we will reduce your civilization to atoms. Admiral Chen, standing on her command deck, allowed herself a small smile. Sovereign Executor, I warned you not to return. Everything that happens next is on your hands. She sent the neural command that activated the Aegis Protocol. Throughout the solar system, quantum nodes hummed to life. The space around Earth began to shimmer with a barely visible field of distorted light. What you saw before was just the surface, Chen declared. Now, let us show you what humanity can really do when pushed too far. The battle for Earth's independence was about to begin, and humanity was ready to show the galaxy why you should never underestimate a species that had spent its entire history preparing for this very moment. The void between Mars and Jupiter erupted in a display of power that would have been visible from neighboring star systems. The Dominion fleet's first volley, streams of crystalline energy, capable of shattering small moons, splashed harmlessly against Earth's quantum defense field. Admiral Chen stood calmly on the bridge of the EDS Hyperion, watching the tactical display as humanity's hidden fleet moved into position. All ships, execute Operation Thunderbolt. Show them what we've learned. The Earth Defense Fleet emerged from quantum shadows, their dark hulls seeming to absorb the light from nearby stars. They were outnumbered nearly 2-1, but numbers weren't everything. Each ship carried technology specifically designed to counter the Dominion's supposed advantages. Sovereign Executor, Chen broadcast across all channels. This is your final chance to withdraw. The response came in the form of another massive energy barrage. This time, however, something different happened. As the crystalline beams struck Earth's defense ships, they didn't just dissipate. They were absorbed, channeled, and redirected back at the Dominion fleet with doubled intensity. Impossible. Vex's voice crackled across the comm. Those are our own weapon signatures. Quantum mirror technology, Chen replied calmly. We didn't just study your weapons, we learned how to turn them against you. Now, let me show you something truly impossible. She activated the neural command for the Jupiter defense ring. The massive structure, hidden in plain sight among the gas giants' rings, began to pulse with energy. Suddenly, the space around the Dominion fleet distorted. Their wormhole generators flickered and died. Welcome to our gravity well, Chen announced. No one's leaving until this is finished. The battle that followed would be studied in military academies across the galaxy for centuries to come. The Dominion fleet, for all its superior numbers, found itself facing an enemy that had spent years preparing specifically to counter their every advantage. Earth's ships moved in perfect coordination, their neural-linked crews operating with impossible precision. When the Dominion tried to use their molecular reconstruction beams to transform Earth's ships into crystal, quantum nullification fields rendered the attacks useless. When they attempted to open short-range wormholes for tactical advantages, the Jupiter defense ring's influence made such maneuvers impossible. Target their command ships, Chen ordered. Show them what happens when you corner humanity. The EDS Hyperion led a strike force directly at the Dominion's flagship. As they approached, the true nature of humanity's advancement became clear. Their ships weren't just weapons platforms. They were extensions of human consciousness, guided by neural networks that could process combat decisions faster than any artificial intelligence. Their shields are adapting, Lieutenant Rodriguez reported. They're learning from each engagement. Chen smiled. So are we. Execute Protocol Omega. Across the battlefield, Earth's ships began to move in ways that defied conventional space combat doctrine. They seemed to predict where Dominion weapons would fire, moving to positions that turned every attack into an advantage. The neural networks weren't just controlling the ships. They were learning, evolving, becoming more effective with each passing moment. The Dominion's formations began to break. Their crystalline ships, beautiful but increasingly fragile against Earth's counters, started falling one by one. Quantum disruption beams sliced through their advanced shields, while redirected energy weapons turned their own power against them. This is impossible. Vex's voice came again, this time tinged with fear. You're a primitive species. You cannot have developed this level of technology. Our apparent primitiveness was a choice, Chen replied. We knew someone like you would come eventually. Everything you've seen of Earth's technology was carefully crafted theater. This. She gestured at the battlefield where dozens of Dominion ships were now drifting powerless. This is reality. The turning point came 3 hours into the battle. The Hyperion strike force finally broke through to the Dominion flagship's defensive screen. Earth's ships moved with surgical precision, their quantum weapons cutting off all escape routes. Your ship is surrounded, Sovereign Executor, Chen broadcast. Your fleet is in ruins. Surrender now, and we can end this without further bloodshed. There was a long pause before Vix responded. When he did, his voice carried a note of resignation that no human had ever heard from a Dominion leader before. In 10,000 years of expansion, no species has ever. How did you do this? We did it by remembering our history, Chen answered. Every time a technologically superior force encountered a primitive society on Earth, it ended badly for the primitive society. We vowed that wouldn't happen to humanity as a whole. Everything we've done, every advancement, every preparation, was built around a single principle: never be the primitive society. The battle wasn't over. There were still nearly 100 Dominion ships fighting in isolated pockets throughout the solar system. But with their flagship trapped and their combat doctrine in shambles, the outcome was no longer in doubt. Humanity had done the impossible. They had beaten a superior force through preparation, innovation, and the simple determination to never be colonized. As Chen watched the Dominion flagship power down its weapons, she knew this was just the beginning. The galaxy would never be the same after this day. Humanity had announced its presence, not as a primitive species to be uplifted, but as a force to be reckoned with. The real question was, what would they do with this victory? News of Earth's victory spread through the galaxy like a shockwave. Within days, quantum communication channels that humanity didn't even know existed lit up with messages from dozens of species previously subjugated by the Dominion. Earth had done more than win a battle. It had shattered the myth of Dominion invincibility. Admiral Chen stood before the Galactic Assembly on Proxima Centauri II, Earth's first colony world, and now the neutral meeting ground for an unprecedented gathering. Representatives from 27 species filled the massive chamber, their diverse forms a testament to the galaxy's rich variety of life. The Dominion told us we were primitive. Chen began, her voice carrying across the chamber. They said the same to many of you. But look at what we've achieved by working in secret, by preparing, by refusing to accept their definition of civilization. The Nexari delegate, a being of pure energy contained within a crystalline environment suit, floated forward. We watched the battle recordings. Your tactics, your technology, they were specifically designed to counter Dominion capabilities. How long did you prepare? Since we first detected their observation platforms, Chen replied. But the philosophy behind our preparations goes back centuries. Humanity has a long history of technological societies encountering less advanced ones. We vowed never to be on the losing end of such an encounter. The chamber buzzed with conversation. The Cthuric representative, an insectoid being nearly 4 meters tall, raised a limb for attention. The Dominion's grip on our worlds remains strong. They have controlled us for millennia. What you achieved in your system was remarkable. But you think it can't be replicated elsewhere? Chen smiled. That's exactly what we want to discuss today. Earth didn't just develop defensive technology. We created a template for resistance, one we're willing to share. Holograms appeared throughout the chamber, showing schematics for quantum nullification fields, neural interface systems, and the revolutionary space-time manipulation technology that had trapped the Dominion fleet. We're not here to replace one empire with another, Chen continued. We're proposing an alliance. Each world, each species, maintaining its independence while sharing knowledge and resources. Together, we can end the Dominion's tyranny not through conquest, but by showing them a better way. The Moravian delegate, whose crystalline form ironically resembled the Dominion ships, moved forward. You would share your technology freely, even after seeing how the Dominion abused their technological superiority. We're not sharing weapons, Chen clarified. We're sharing knowledge. The quantum nullification technology that defeated the Dominion. It can also be used to clean polluted atmospheres. Neural interfaces. They can revolutionize education and healthcare. Every advancement we made in preparing for war can be turned to peace. The chamber erupted in discussion again, but this time the tone was different. Hope, long suppressed under Dominion rule, began to emerge. There's something else you should know, Chen added, her voice cutting through the noise. During the battle, we captured significant amounts of Dominion technology. Their database contained evidence that they've been suppressing scientific advancement across the galaxy. Many of you have capabilities far beyond what you've been allowed to develop. She gestured and new holograms appeared. ancient records showing achievements from various civilizations, technologies that had been systematically erased or hidden by the Dominion. They didn't just conquer through force, Chen explained. They conquered through carefully managed technological suppression, making each species believe they were primitive, that they needed the Dominion's guidance. But look at your own histories. The Nexari had mastered quantum engineering before the Dominion arrived. The Thuric had developed organic computing more advanced than anything we've seen. The Moravians? Your crystal technology was the basis for half the Dominion's advancements. The revelation sent shockwaves through the assembly. Centuries of assumed inferiority began to crumble in the face of recovered history. Earth refuses to be colonized, Chen declared. We refuse to be labeled primitive. We refuse to accept any power that demands submission in exchange for advancement, and we invite all of you to join us in that refusal. One by one, delegates began to signal their agreement. The Nexari were first, their energy forms pulsing with enthusiasm. The Thuric followed, then the Moravians. Within hours, 23 species had pledged themselves to what would become known as the Free Systems Alliance. As Chen watched the proceedings, her neural interface picked up a priority message from Earth. The Dominion was mobilizing again, this time with an even larger fleet. But as she looked around the chamber at Earth's new allies, she knew humanity wouldn't face this threat alone. The galaxy was changing. The age of empire was ending. And humanity, the supposedly primitive species that had dared to say no, was helping to forge something new. A future where advancement came through cooperation, not submission. What started as Earth's defiance was becoming something much larger. A revolution of the so-called primitive species against those who had labeled them as such. The combined fleet of the Free Systems Alliance gathered at the edge of the Arcturus sector, a force unprecedented in galactic history. Ships of 23 different designs formed a defensive line that stretched across light years. At its heart, Earth's advanced vessels took point position, their dark hulls a stark contrast to the varied technologies of their allies. Admiral Chen stood on the bridge of the newly commissioned EDS Aurora, Earth's most advanced vessel. The ship represented the perfect fusion of human innovation and recovered alien technology, crewed by a mix of species from across the Alliance. Dominion fleet approaching, announced Tel, the Thuric tactical officer. 500 capital ships, twice our previous encounter. They're not just coming to reclaim Earth anymore, Chen observed. They're coming to crush this alliance before it can inspire more rebellions. The Dominion fleet emerged from wormhole space in a dazzling display of crystalline ships, their formation perfect, their numbers overwhelming. The holographic image of Supreme Sovereign Xarax appeared across all Alliance vessels, a being of pure energy, no longer bothering with a humanoid form. This rebellion ends today, Xarax declared. Your primitive alliance cannot stand against the full might of the Dominion. Surrender now, and your species may yet survive as protectorates. Chen smiled. Supreme Sovereign, you still don't understand. Look around you. Every ship in our fleet represents a species you called primitive. Every technology we wield was developed in secret, while you thought us inferior. We're not here to surrender. We're here to show you that the age of empires is over. She activated the neural command that linked the entire Alliance fleet. Thanks to Earth's neural interface technology and the Nexari's quantum communication advances, hundreds of ships could now act as one. All ships, execute Protocol Unity, Chen ordered. The Alliance fleet moved with impossible coordination. Earth's quantum nullification fields merged with Moravian crystal technology, creating a defensive barrier that turned the Dominion's energy weapons against them. Thuric organic computers adapted faster than any AI, predicting and countering enemy movements before they happened. But the Dominion hadn't ruled for millennia without learning a few tricks. Their ships began to transform, combining into massive crystalline structures that dwarfed anything seen before. Energy beams capable of shattering planets lashed out at the Alliance fleet. They're desperate, Chen observed. They're burning through centuries of stored power to fuel these attacks. Then let's show them what real power looks like, came the response from Nexuri Captain Zoril. Activating the Harmony Protocol. This was the Alliance's secret weapon. Technology that combined the quantum manipulation abilities of multiple species into something entirely new. As the protocol activated, space itself seemed to ripple around the Alliance fleet. The battle that followed would rewrite galactic history. The Dominion's superior numbers meant nothing against an enemy that could literally rewrite the laws of physics in local space. Their energy weapons were absorbed and redirected. Their wormhole generators failed against targeted quantum disruption fields. You cannot defeat us. Xerax's voice boomed across space. We are civilization itself. No, Chen countered. You're just bullies who've had power for too long. Real civilization is what happens when different species work together as equals. Let us show you. She gave the command that activated the Alliance's ultimate weapon, not a device of destruction, but one of transformation. Based on the Dominion's own molecular reconstruction technology, but enhanced by the combined science of 23 species, it sent out a wave of energy that swept through the enemy fleet. The crystalline ships began to change, their perfect formations disrupting as their core technology was rewritten at the quantum level. The Dominion's weapons, their shields, their very means of asserting control, all of it began to fail. What? What have you done? Xerax's voice had lost its certainty. We've given you a choice, Chen replied. Your ships aren't destroyed. They're transformed. Your weapons are gone, but you still have engines, life support, the ability to travel and trade and interact with others as equals. The question is, can you learn to live in a galaxy where you're not supreme? The battle ended not with destruction, but with transformation. The mighty Dominion fleet hung in space, their ships still beautiful, but no longer threatening. Across the galaxy, the same transformation wave swept through Dominion territory, dismantling the weapons and control systems they had used to maintain their empire.